Hello and welcome to another Budget and Leggit video. So today we are going to do a Renault Master van. There's going to be a few parts to this. I've got a few things to do. I've got to service it, I've got to put back calipers on it and inner tie rods and track rod ends and a CV boot and obviously track it. So we're going to do a service video first and then, well, I do the other bits, so maybe a 3-part video to this. So what we're going to do with the service first, I like to do the oil first. So get the vehicle, van, car, whatever it happens to be, up to running temperature. Make the oil nice and hot, which makes it thin, which brings all the crap down, and it's just better when you drain it rather than leaving all the crap in there. So that's the first thing we're going to do. This is nice and hot. We're going to lift her up, take out the oil, put a filter on, come back to the top. Let's get cracking. So as you can see, we're underneath it now. What I've got to do is take off these stupid covers, which are just annoying unless... Well, actually, no, I don't. That's good. That's about to fall off as well. I'll have to I'm going to take that off and I'm going to put maybe some cable ties or something just to hold that up a lot better. So, the oil filter is here and the sump plug is just in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain that and turn the camera back on. All it is well, I'll tell you what it is when I get to it. Now, because it's a French car, and they like to be different to the old French, it's not just a normal nut. It's not like a 17, 18mm nut. It's one of these fellas. So it's basically square, and it's called an S8. So it's just a square lug, and that's what fits into it. God, that's tight. Oh, that's too tight, that, and it's leaking. And I haven't got anything in place. And I got covered in oil. Lovely. Fucking lovely. Alright, so now I have my oil catcher. Take this off without getting covered again. Thank God for a long ratchet. Normally you get some sort of chance before it starts leaking like that to actually take it off, but that oil is very, very thin. I need changing badly. Well, at least I've oiled my ratchet, and that's what the actual stud looks like. So just a square hole in it basically. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to loosen the oil filter. Now I do have special cups that fit over these plastic housings, but unfortunately the one that I need is in between two that I have, so I haven't got it. But this should work. This is my oil filter ratchet, the adjustable one. You can see that there. So this should still work. So just tying it up, and there we go. So still okay, good. Now, I haven't put the sump plug back on yet. I'm just going to try and catch. I can leave the sump plug open and leave this open. See where the oil goes from this. Oh, I'm right on the limit. I'm just moving the oil catcher can to the side, but I'm on the limit from it fitting. open this and let the oil come out. Now there is a little hole in the middle of the threads, so I haven't screwed out all the way. The oil is coming out the little hole. It's like a little draining hole, so it just saves you getting absolutely covered. If you was to take that out, it would just come out, it'll go all over the cam, it'll go everywhere. Good time now to put the sump plug back on and to make sure it's tight, so you don't forget about it. Alright, I think we should be fairly good with that now. And there we go. There's the oil filter. Now, what you need to do is obviously check that your new oil filter is right, because on some vehicles there is 2 or 3 different types of filters for them. Now, on here, on most of them, you do have an O-ring, which is right there, and you do get a new O-ring. Now, I'm maybe going to get a few comments about this, but I'm telling you, I've been doing this like this for a long time, and I know other people that do the same. If it's not leaking through the seal, just leave the seal alone. Don't touch it. Because sometimes this new seals you can get, I've seen it happen a good few times, they put the new seal in and the new seal leaks. I don't know why, I don't know if they're not as good, I just don't know, but anyway, I've seen it a good few times. So just, if it isn't leaking through the seal, leave it alone. You're not going to have a problem. All we need to do now is just literally pull this apart. So I'm just pulling it apart. There's clips on the bottom, which you can see, these clips on the bottom. Just goes in, pushes in, and now, as you can see, it's in place. And then just screw it in. Now, you don't want to over tighten these, because they will break. It only says, actually says on it, 25 newtons is the torque, which is not a lot, so you don't want to over tighten these. Because then it will leak, and you're going to need more than an O-ring. Now, that is tight. You're not going to have any problems there. Now, it's a good thing, before you put your covers back, if you have covers that is, not every car does because they get lost. So before you put your covers back, put the oil in, let the car start, and make sure you're not having any leaks through either the new O-ring you just put in or the one you've put back, or the sump plug. So just make sure you have no leaks before you put everything back together. Because there's nothing worse getting everything back together and realising then you have a leak. So I'm going to put this down on the deck, put the oil in, and then start it up. Now, I know I bang on about oil a lot, but honestly it's so important. I'm putting 1040 semi-synthetic into this, but it's the right spec oil for this vehicle, which is a Renault. So, I know it's going to take it more than 5 litres, so I'm going to put 5 litres in it first. One thing I will say to you is though, especially if you're doing it yourself, I know when you look at service manuals they say it can do 12,000 miles or it can do 20,000 miles for an oil change. Honestly, I'm telling you, here and now, if you want your engine to last, and to last well, and not have any problems as regards your engine now, I don't mean as regards sensors, I mean as regards engine, you change your oil with the right oil every 4,000 or 5,000 miles, you'll never have a problem with your engine. Fact. You change it 20,000 miles, if you buy a new vehicle, 4 or 5 years, you're going to start having problems with your engine. 100% fact. So if you want to keep your engine proper, change your oil regularly, oil and filter, you're not going to have a problem. So, dump this in. This could take a while, Paul, because it's in a very awkward spot. There's no point in me filming this because it's going to take forever. Once I get the oil in, I'll turn the camera back on. Okay, so I've put 5 litres in, and as you can see, we're about halfway up on the dipstick. Now, that doesn't mean it takes 10 litres. So, if you're unsure, just best to add about half a litre at a time. Normally on most cars, now not vans, but most cars, between the minimum and maximum mark, if it's under 2 litre, it's normally about a litre of oil. If it's over 2 litres, and I'm talking the engine size, the cc size, it could take a little bit more. But also you got to remember is the filter in this is still dry. So when I start this, the oil filter is going to take about half a litre of oil. So I know I'm going to be fine with putting at least another litre and a half in here. So I'm going to put a litre and a half in, and then I'm going to start it. And I'm going to see how much more I need, if I need any after that. Now that's 6.5 litres. I know I might get a few comments as well by saying, well, hold on a second, isn't this supposed to be 530? Well, granted, when the vehicle was new, yes, you would put 530 in it. But this is done well over 100,000 miles, so the engine does wear a little bit. Now, you have to be careful because you can't do this with all cars, but with certain cars you can then put slightly thicker oil in. Still semi-synthetic, but you can put slightly thicker oil in just to account for the engine wear, because an engine will wear naturally anyway. So, now, we still actually need about another half a litre. But what I'm going to do is, I've got plenty of oil in there now to start this and not to have to worry about doing any damage. So I'm going to start it. I'm going to start this. I'm going to let the oil filter fill up of oil. Let it settle for about 30 seconds or so after the oil light's gone off and I know the oil's in the filter. And then I'm going to re-dip it and then I'm going to put my oil in, and then I know exactly how much I need. Right, so I know that's now enough as regards the oil filter is full. Just going to put some more oil in my thing, and maybe I need another litre or so, I'm not 100% sure yet, but we'll check now in a second. Alright, so I've got a litre here. Let's see. Now we're about halfway down again. So I'm going to put a litre in first and see what happens. So I think it's about 7.5 litres now, I think, in and around there. Now we're getting there. So I'd say just under half a litre now. And we're sorted. Just going to double check that now before I put it in. Yeah, I'd say just under half a litre. And there we go, absolutely bang on the mark. Put on the oil cap. Now I do the air filter, which is nice and easy. A couple of clips. 4 clips. just lifts up. Now what's also a good thing to do is, there's none in this, but if there is leaves and crap, just blow this out, but that is very clean. Now we can see the difference between the new one and the old one. Good thing to do is also just double make sure, check the sizes, make sure the same thickness, same length and all that. And then yeah, you can chuck that one away, put this one in. Fits in nice and easy, as it should do. Put it in the little clips at the back, hold it down and then just literally push all the clips back. And the last one. Now, so all we really need to do is check all the levels. The diesel filter is right here, so we're going to do that. Yeah, it's also a good idea to check your gearbox as well every couple of years. Well, I mean, check it every year, but change the oil every couple of years. Now, I only did this one recently, so I'm not going to go near it because I know it's okay, but it's also a good thing it is to check your gearbox oil. It's a thing that people forget about, and it's obviously very important. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to check the coolant level. We're right on the mark, which is not a big deal, but I want to check there's enough coolant in it. So we shove a little gadget in. Make sure it's getting the water. Let's let it finish doing what it's doing. One drops. Two is kind of on the edge of dropping and not. So we've got 5 floating, which is good for minus 34 to minus 37. And like I say, if we get that, we're going to have more problems than water. So we know that's good. Power steering. Should have a little mark on it, but this one doesn't, but it has the mark on it. You can't see it. See if I can get you a bit closer. Has a little mark here, and as you wobble it you can see the liquid is on that mark, so we're okay there as well. So we're good there. The thing to do also is check your brake fluid. Now when you're checking your brake fluid, obviously it's got to be on the mark, but you're also looking for a nice clear liquid. If it's black and browny, any colour, then kind of a see-through kind of colour, then change it. Get the whole thing bled because it's just old. It can be annoying bleeding the complete brake system, but honestly, you know, your brakes are very important. So what I'm going to do now is just fill up the water level. Before I do that, you can see it, but right at the back here, right next to your diesel filter is a little button. If you hit a pothole or anything like that and all of a sudden all your electrics go out, there's a reset button just here. So it's just handy to know where that is, because you could hit a pothole and all the electric goes out, because the car might think you're in a crash or something. You press that reset button and you can have your power back, so that's just another good thing to have. So I'm going to top up this now with water, wherever my water is. Have to put a bit of windscreen wiper wash in it as well. I don't have it at the minute, so I'm just going to top it up with water, and then I'll be having this for a couple of days anyway, so I'll put it in. Now, so that's now done. And our next thing is the diesel filter, which is right there. So here's our new diesel filter, and you do get a new O-ring, and I do suggest for the diesel filter to put the new O-ring in. But again, even these can give problems. Now this can be a bit awkward. It's on a little, well, I can't get it off. I might not need to though. This might be a bit awkward to film. Sometimes it is on a clip and you can kind of lift it off and move it out your way here, but I can't seem to get to it very easy. So what I might do is just, if I can, twist the top off, which I can't do either. So I don't know what I'm going to do at the minute. Now, after a few choice words, I managed to get that loose. There's a clip here, a little clip with 2 wires going in. There's I think this is the feed. Now this, there's a little green, you're not going to be able to see it, but once you're doing it, there's a little green clip. You literally push down with your finger and that just slides straight out. So there's a little green clip just right there, and you just push it down, it comes straight out. This one, slightly different connection. It has 2 green clips either end of it. You push them 2 in together, and then this one comes out. Just like that. So you just push them 2 together, this one comes out. This should then allow me, hopefully, enough room, yeah, just to take that off and get to my filter. That's the ring. Oh, that was well stuck there. Now, messy job, as we can see, just absolutely destroyed. Just, well, we have a problem. We have the wrong filter. As you can see, it does happen. I'm going to have to get another filter now before I can continue. Right, so that puts a hold upon this for me, but not for you. So as soon as I get one, we'll finish this off and we'll be sorted. Okay, so we got the right one. Now, it's a good idea if you're working on your own car and you have one of these, and there is a couple of different filters for it, to write down the number of the filter that you get, so next time you go for the service kit, you'll have the right one. Now, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to shove the filter down first because I'm just running low on room, and even that isn't the easiest thing to do. Jesus Christ. Now, we've had a really unusual one on this one. Here is the fuel filter housing. Now, as you know, the wrong filter came, so I got another filter, and that wouldn't fit down all the way. So I had to ring the motor factors back up. They told me, no, it's definitely that one, that's the only one listed for the vehicle. Went down, tried 4 more of the same make, still didn't fit in. But they are for it. Okay? So, what we think has happened, what I think is maybe we've got a dodgy batch of these filters, because, as you can see, it won't go all the way down. So what I've had to do, and it makes no odds, but I've taken off the bottom ring. That just comes off. It's all still sealed here, and as we can see now, it fits. And we still have the important hole, which is here, which lines up with that, which allows me to seal everything. Now, so it's unusual. It's never happened to me before, but it's happened now. But anyway, not to worry. It's not going to affect anything. We are going to be okay. I just put the seal on it, and I can line that up and put that down. Now, because I've taken it out, this is where it hooks onto the car. I need to make sure I get this in the right place. So I reckon it's about there. So I'm just going to tighten that. Yeah. Now, so that's tightened. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know, but I'm not going to worry about it because I know this is going to work. Very unusual, but anyway. So I just need to hook this back up on here now. Seat that back in. There's a little tab. Just push the tab back in so it can't come back out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the plug in first, the actual wire plug. Oh, that's come off. Is it? Very well. So plug the wire plug in first. Then I'm going to put. This is the feed, the main feed wire coming from the tank. So I'm going to put that on next. Oh, when this is down, this. Playing up now for some reason. So get that down. So I'm just going to click this pipe in first, and I'm going to leave this pipe which actually feeds from the filter to the engine, because I need to suck out diesel from here now to make sure we're not going to airlock, and I have a sucker tool for that. Right, the tool I'm using is just called an oil and water extractor, or an oil and fuel extractor. So I'm just pumping it until we get diesel coming through. I can hear it. Just wait until it comes through. Now, it's coming through. You're not going to obviously be able to see it, but I can. So once I know we've definitely got enough, it still might airlock, but at least we know we've got a lot of it in. Now, and then I'll put this on. Just again, clip straight on. So, I'm going to now try and start it. Still might airlock. If it does, I'm just going to do the same thing again. You can pour oil or diesel straight into it, but that can just be a bit messy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this. Now if it starts, don't turn it off. Leave it running for at least 2 minutes. It's just if there is any airlocks, it'll just try and run itself out. So don't just think it's starting, oh that's great. It'll start regardless because there's going to be fuel in the lines and fuel in the injectors. But it has to pump it from here. So let's see what happens. Now if you look at this see-through pipe here, you'll actually see bubbles coming out of it if it's going to cause a problem. It's also a good time just to check that there's no leaks in the actual housing or anything like that. But I have to say at the minute, it's looking good. Oops. Don't need that now. Now we're not going to have a problem with this now. As regards the starting problem. Well, as regards it stopping, sorry. Not airlocked. Alright. So yeah, a bit of messing with the filter, but we got there in the end. So yeah, a bit of a funny one this time, but anyway, we got there in the end. These things happen. Don't know why. It's just one of them things, but it's not going to make any difference. And people might say, "Oh, it's going to get this." Look, I tell you now, it's not going to make any difference. It's all sealed around the bottom. That still gets submerged in diesel. The diesel's not going to do anything. It's not going to do absolutely the slightest thing to it. But anyway, it just means it fits. I tried everything I possibly could, and that's the only way we could do it. So, look. Hope it helps. Thumbs up and subscribe, and don't forget,
get your hands dirty.
See you for the next one.